Hi, I'm Dempsey Palat, and this week I'm reviewing Aladdin was directed by Guy Ritchie and stars Will Smith, Mena Massoud, and Naomi Scott. Now, this film is the live-action adaptation of Disney's 1992 animated film of the same name, and honestly, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, with the exception of some of the new songs and some of the new characters, I thought it was actually a pretty faithful adaptation. You know, I really did enjoy this film, honestly. I don't really get what all the fuss is about. If you really love the original, you should have no problem embracing this one. And in this review, I'm not going to really address some of the main plot points because, as I mentioned before, it's really faithful to the original source material. In fact, I think some of the major changes that this film has, or some of the changes in general, have to do with the characters. And some of them are actually really good. For one thing, Aladdin and Jasmine are fantastic. I'll just say that. Mena Massoud and Naomi Scott are perfect as them. But I think one of the best character changes in this film actually comes from the changes that they make with Princess Jasmine, Naomi Scott. She, in this film, seems to me like more of an equal than she was in the animated film. She's not so much a damsel in distress, but you know, she's someone with a cause, and she is actually given a voice in this film, which I really loved, and is probably one of my favorite things about this film as a whole. Will Smith's genie is also something that I really enjoyed about this film, and before I go any further, I just want to say it's not even fair to compare his portrayal to Robin Williams's. They are both great for totally different reasons. What I like the most about Will Smith's portrayal is that he takes the character and makes him his own. You know, he has a lot of fun with it, and that's what makes him obviously the most entertaining thing about the film. Now, don't worry, he's still funny. I should probably say that, okay? You're going to get lots of entertainment from him. But there are some things that they choose to do with the genie in this film that are noticeably different from the cartoon. And I don't really want to say more than that. I don't want to spoil anything. But if you've seen the film, you obviously know what I'm talking about. And it's not that I didn't like the thing that they do with the genie. It just felt out of place to me. But overall, it worked. On the technical side, one of the things that I was most impressed with this film, and I was honestly surprised that I was most impressed with it, was the colors. When I first saw the trailer, I honestly thought that the film looked so overly saturated, and the color in the trailers kind of makes the film look cheesy. But after experiencing them firsthand watching the movie, I can honestly say that they add to the overall aesthetic beauty of the film. Really, the film's colorized in such a way that it just adds to the experience. Another thing that I really liked about the film was the choreography. While admittedly I will say that I wish that they had a little bit more of the traditional Indian dancing in most of the dance sequences, overall I think the dancing sequences were handled wonderfully. I thought they were another really great highlight to the film. Despite my overall enjoyment with the film, though, there were a couple of things that I felt were a little displeasing. Maybe it's better to say that some things just felt a little bit out of place. For one, the first musical sequence, or one of the first musical sequences, I believe it's Aladdin's first musical sequence. That one, I mean, nothing's wrong with the singing or the choreography, but the editing for that sequence is just bizarre. It zooms in and out of slow motion constantly, so frequently, in fact, that it's very noticeable. It was one of the first things that I noticed about the film, and it actually made me worry a bit. I was like, oh my god, if this sequence is as messy as this, then what could the rest of the film be like? But obviously, it got better. But yeah, such a strange choice, and it really does throw out the timing of the song. Like, you can't even bop your head because it's just so messy. I can't even describe it, but I mean, for those of you guys who see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. And maybe if you missed it, you'll probably be able to catch it the next time around. Another issue that I actually have with this film, surprisingly, was the CGI. And I'm not saying that the CGI is bad, but at the same time, this is the same company that just brought us Endgame a month ago, so the bar is pretty high. And for a character like the genie, who's only CGI half the time that we see him, like 50% of the time that we see him, you would think that even in that little bit amount of time that they would spend a lot of time in trying to make him look seamless, like some of the other characters. But Nope. There are a lot of sequences where it's really hard to suspend your disbelief and believe that he's not a cartoon. He comes off very cartoonish in a lot of the scenes, and there's just a lot of sequences that I wish that they had put a little bit more time into, because yeah, a lot of this just comes off looking like a cartoon. There's no other way to say it. For that, I should have just seen the original 1992 cartoon. There's no point in it being live action if you can't even get the CGI right, in my opinion anyway. Now, the final issue that I had with this film was its third act. Not to say that it's a bad third act, but it definitely had a lot of issues, pacing issues really. It goes from feeling really urgent in the beginning to very slow, to very urgent again, like something's about to happen, like things are about to pop off. And then it kind of slows down again. And the whole thing, the timing of it all just feels all out of whack. Like it feels like it should happen over the course of a couple of hours, but it really only happens over the course of a couple of minutes, if that makes sense. It feels rushed, is I guess the best way to say that. And even for people who know the film, who've seen it, or the Broadway play even, I'll go there. Like if you know what happens at the end, I think you'll agree that the ending just feels very, very choppy. But overall, once again, this film is a good film. I honestly don't know what people who dislike this film were expecting, because it is very much a live-action adaptation of the original. It is. And it's my favorite Disney live-action adaptation so far, I will say that. It's one that I think original fans should appreciate. And for that, I'm going to give this film 4 stars.
I'm kidding. Watch this.
Guys, thanks so much for watching. As always, if you like this video, hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed, I would ask that you please subscribe. I post new videos weekly, and I've got tons of great new content coming out over the next couple weeks. You do not want to miss it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you've seen the film and you liked it or you didn't like it, comment below in the comment section. Talk to me about it. I'd love to hear what any and all of you guys have to say. But other than that, that's pretty much all I've got for you. Thank you so much once again for taking the time out of your day to view this video. It really does mean the world to me. And I guess I should probably get back to work. So until next time, I'm Dempsey Pilat. Take care.